Then you made them the right way. Awesome.
Not the Italian way.
Yeah.
I also made some. I think I purpose made some of these once, and they weren't. They were all right. I guess they're always going to turn out a little different.
All right. Well, good afternoon, folks. Welcome to Smudcast number 463, the crimes of modern localization. And we were just talking about rum balls because, I don't know, we just like dessert, and that popped up in our group chat. So anyway, we were covering a video. This was not voted upon. I'm not sure where this came from, but we're going to do it, so we're doing it.
Sometimes
I have
things
the
just
receipts.
appear.
I have the receipts. You agreed in doing a special video.
Yeah, but I agree to everything. I'm like, yeah, let's do it. Let's go for it. I don't care. But I didn't even think we're going to do it like because I said so. I thought we were going to do it because it was voted on, and Anyway, this came out last year in April from the channel Dimitri Monroe. It's got 120,000 views, and it seems to be a positive video. It's got almost 10,000 likes and less than 400 dislikes. I don't know why I would have dislikes, but it's a 42-minute long video, so I doubt we're going to cover it all today. But we all know the problems of not only adaptations, but localizations, just from one language to another. Especially in animation, you can get away with some of it, but they also have to visually change some things as well. As we see on the screen, we have Ash Ketchum holding a sandwich or something. I don't know.
A giant sandwich instead of a Pokemon.
Yeah.
What is it supposed to be on the left? It's the frame doesn't look right.
I don't know.
Oh, there we go. What is that? Is that like a giant bundle of rice? Is that a giant radish? I can't tell.
Anyway.
I remember in Pokemon where you said, I'm going to enjoy this jelly donut, and it was a rice ball.
Oh, yes.
I
I remember the jelly donuts.
Couldn't figure out what a rice ball was
Right.
just by the name alone.
That was in the localization for Sailor Moon back in the day because her hair was supposed to be Odongo Otama, which are rice balls, and there's no rice balls in our parlance in North America, so they just call it Meatball Head. That's her name.
God, that's disgusting.
So they call Serena Meatball Head. That was her name.
Children couldn't figure it out what a rice ball meant just by the name.
Yeah,
Lucky because the localization here is actually pretty good, so I'm lucky.
That is so unnecessary to change, because if you know what rice is, you can imagine what a rice ball is.
No,
and even
it's
if
a
you
ball
can't,
of
we
rice.
have things in the United States that look more like her hair than meatballs.
Oh yeah, and the thing is, there are rice balls that are filled with jam sometimes, so it does visually work in certain stories, but for the most part, it's just a triangle-shaped piece of rice.
How about a cheese puff?
Yeah, maybe flaky pastry, possibly.
Yeah, like a cinnamon bun.
Oh, that's much better than Meatball Head.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that would even fit with her name of Bunny.
Yeah, well, this was back in the early 90s, and then we got other translations that did the same thing in some degree, probably the same studio. But as we'll go through this video, I watched a bit of it. It's actually not bad so far, talking about the really, really bad ones that happened the past 5-10 years. So
there's some.
Dimitri Monroe he's usually pretty good.
Okay. That's good to know. I don't know.
He's an odd guy, but
we're not covering this is not like a comic Drake.
No.
No. This is actually talking about the topic. We are basically.
I would be happy if we never covered comic Drake ever again.
Well,
personally.
Did you ever cover comic Drake before? Because I don't.
Yeah, I was there for the Static Shock.
Oh yeah, okay. That one.
That video was bad. that was really
appalling.
bad.
Yeah, he's to me he's inoffensive because I don't find his arguments very useful. It's just like, okay, this is your opinion. It's kind of dumb, but whatever. And it's not overly political. There are sometimes politics, but not all the time.
When I was younger and more liberal, I liked him, but as I got older, I was like, oh, this has gotten worse, or you're the same and I've gotten better.
Yeah.
Probably the latter.
That's what happens whenever you're left-leaning and you grow up. You're like, wait a second, that's stupid. I'm going to stop doing that. I have a brain now. I could think for
You're
myself.
going to be based when you're adult.
Well, that's a bit further to the right. It's like, okay, that's as far as you go. So no.
I don't know, Smud. There seem to be an awful lot of women on the panel tonight. I don't know what's going on here.
Well,
it's a suspicious amount.
I'm okay with that. I'm all right.
Oh yeah, a suspicious amount of women. That's it.
Considering the women in our the supposedly men in our cabinet in Canada, I'm a little concerned these days. With women in other parts of the world are just okay by me. So.
How is Fidel Castro's son doing these days?
We don't know. We still can't find him.
Oh,
he's still hiding.
So he's abdicated his seat, which means you should appoint somebody else as prime minister.
We have a deputy. We always have a deputy, and she does most of the work anyway. So that's how it goes. It's been that way for the past 6-7 years.
Oh, so she is the real tyrant?
No, she's another empty suit, but it's the same idea.
Doesn't the Queen have some influence in Canada?
Yes,
because she's.
Yes, they have the Governor General, and they pretty much call the shots. So if something happens, they like put the foot down and say, nope, we're not proroguing Parliament, go back to work, or yes, we are proroguing Parliament, or no, we're not going to war. Yes, we're like they're the ones who are like the direct connection to the throne for whatever that's worth.
Oh, so Canada's still basically a part of Kanzuk then?
Yeah, Canada is basically part of the empire.
Yeah, kind of like Australia.
The quote-unquote Commonwealth.
Exactly.
Bring the empire back.
You know what? I really wish the Queen and her royal family would just move to Canada, set up shop, and then properly organize Canada, because they love them in the UK, but they don't want them to do anything. In Canada, it's like, we need help. We need a lot of help. And we just need someone in charge, like the Queen, to say yes and no, go do that, stop doing this. That's all we really need. None of
you
this...
see, guys, Smuddy is on my side. Bring the empire back.
Yeah, you play enough of these games, you're like, yeah, I want a crusader to come around and just fix things, and yeah, we need that. But we have to get a bunch of truckers all around North America, like not just Canada, from other parts of North America.
They came from the United States as well.
I know. It's crazy. I'm like sitting there, holy shit, these guys are serious. What are they doing? They're polishing the statue of Terry Fox. I'm like, what is going on? Well, they're not throwing the statue away. They're polishing it. They're cleaning it. There's like, this is nice. I like to see this. They're standing around the eternal flame. It's like, oh, isn't that? They're waving every flag they've got. It's like, this is beautiful. I love this. And that's it. That's all they've been doing. Aside from blocking traffic, obviously, but that's the point. So.
I hear they are making a lot of noise at night to keep people up, like honking and firecrackers.
Well, yeah, there is some disturbance of the peace, obviously. That happens with every sort of protest.
Well,
but
as we have heard from a reliable source out of New York's whatever district she's from, the point of protest is to make people uncomfortable.
Oh yeah, that's the point. They haven't killed anyone, so they're still better than that.
Yeah. Anyway, let's get on with the video. I don't know. I want to turn this into a political talk. That's why we have Whisp on here, so we could always tell him to be quiet and go on. Anyway, Vladimir Dragunov. Hey, how you doing? Thanks for the 5. Just found out the Booty Warrior from the Boondocks is based on a real person. The Booty Warrior from the Boondocks. The animation, the Boondocks. I'm trying to think of that.
Oh, I think it is. It is the one. I think the General Butt Naked.
General
I
Butt.
Never watched the Boondocks, so
General Butt Naked is technically a part of the greatest country ever. A little piece of America in Africa.
Oh.
And America's one and only colony that, after the United States left, they had 2 civil wars in Africa.
Look, Liberian history is a mess, because Liberia was actually, okay, we liberated the slaves, they can go back to Africa, and they created a 2-tier system of African Americans and native population.
They just enslaved the native Liberians after being freed from slavery.
And the two-tier system is still there. But because there's one tribe, and there's one tribe ruling the whole country.
Oh.
The moment the United States left, it just fell apart.
Well, I just realized we have Roan on board. Hey, Roan, how you doing, buddy?
I'm doing okay.
All right. I had no idea you were there. I just swapped windows. I was like, who's that? Oh, it's Roan. So, hey, thanks for joining. He
was here learning history and how Canada could be safe.
Yeah. Just a crusade to run through the prairies. Yeah. Okay. Anyway, 42 minutes. We're never going to get that done today, but, we'll see how far we get. Here we go.
When someone brings up the topic of poor or laughable localization, what do you think of? Chances are at least one of your immediate thoughts is the now defunct company 4Kids. A lot of people would consider them the epitome of bad localization, and while that is certainly something I agree with, that they will always be the shining example to point to. However, a lot of the core issues found in those localizations are still present to this day, just far more subtle in their execution. Now, I know the first counter to this claim would...
I first discovered the extent of their changes in the localization because I grew up watching 4Kids, and I didn't find out how much they changed until Yu-Gi-Oh! Abridged came out, and when he covers that moment, those guys, the characters go, "Stop or we'll shoot you with our invisible guns." And then I went and looked it up, and I found out, there actually were guns that were airbrushed out of that scene. And I'm like, honestly, how much did they do here?
Oh my god, I love it when that happens.
I don't know how, because most of the 4Kids footage did come here in Brazil, so I am on the same spot.
Well, I do remember the original animes that came into North America came in from South America. For whatever reason, we never got the until they started doing an official localization copy of studios in America. We got them all from South America, and they all were bootleg copies. And they eventually made their ways up north, and we got all kinds of crazy stuff from the 80s. So
it was a kind of hard situation. Weird trade route, actually.
Yeah, it was weird. Some of my teachers throughout the years, they came from Mexico and southern parts of North America, and they would tell me these stories of all these amazing stuff they grew up on, and it was stuff I got like 10 years later, and I'm like, wow, you were watching it originally? Like, that's crazy. How'd you get it? It's like, hey, we don't know. I just arrived on a boat sometime, and people traded around and made copies, and that's when VHSs were popular, and so yeah, it made its rounds.
Back in my day, when I was young, we carried every episode of the new anime through the desert.
Yeah.
That sounds like an adventure.
On creaky wheels.
4Kids' version of One Piece's theme song is both terrible but yet nostalgic at the same time.
Huh.
See, I never watched their One Piece dub. One Piece never caught my interest, I think that was it. There were some shows I never saw because they were on too late, and then One Piece just never really my thing.
Right.
I only saw one episode of the 4Kids footage here in Brazil, because Cartoon Network Latin America bought the 4Kids version.
Okay. Here is White Knight Leo. Hey, thanks for the 2. May the honk be with you all. Is that what they're saying? Oh my god.
Yeah, the honk. The honk must continue.
There's so many people and so many signs. I'm not sure what the main message is, but I'm sure it's making enough noise to get attention from everyone. So that's good.
I mean, it made Trudeau flee Ottawa.
I really have COVID, guys.
I'm not surprised.
I gotta go.
I'm not surprised. The man is a huge attention-whoring coward.
Yeah.
To what the guy in the video said, calling this 4Kids the epitome of bad localization. There's something you put on top of that, because it's never ruined until the Germans ruined it. Because we, in Germany, got the American versions to our censors and localizers to then go over that.
So it's double ruined.
Yes, they ruin it on top. Like, you take out the sex stuff and some of the violence, and our censors then take out all the violence. Like, Naruto has 0 blood, nobody dies, people are just gone. Naruto's parents are not dead; they're missing.
What?
And that's everywhere. There are no dead people.
How?
They're all just missing.
Wait, but them dying is a part of the story. So how does this change?
They're just missing, and nobody ever goes to look for them. Like, the thing is, if Naruto's parents were missing, he would want to try to find them.
Yeah, if Naruto's parents were missing and not dead, that would be the entire premise of the show would be him trying to get stronger to go find them.
Yeah, but, since they can't be dead, they have to be alive, so they have to be missing, and the plot, that never cares about that.
But what happens...
That makes it weird. And this is the episodes. Like, you have cutout scenes in the American version. There are more cutout scenes in the German version. In Dragon Ball Z, that is even more extreme, to the point where a German Dragon Ball Z episode can be like 11 to 14 minutes, and the rest is padding with recaps and previews of the next episode. and of course the advertisement breaks, which are at least 2.
That's atrocious.
So there is nothing left, and that is why German parents think anime is complete crap, because it makes no sense. Because they're correct.
You only got half the
German
show.
Anime makes no sense, because there is nothing left that could make sense.
Wait, like,
you talk about. Go ahead, Holly.
I was going to say, in Naruto's first season, I forget, the dude that looks like a chick and the guy that he's with, they die. What happened? Just like fade to black? And
I don't know. I only watched the first episode on German TV and thought, I'm not going to watch this in German. Fuck you.
They die.
I am not torturing myself with that.
Honestly, with you brought this German thing in localization. I remember the aardvark in the end. You said she showed the dubbed version of German. I say, wait, it's a girl?
And on top of that, a space junk in the chat reminds me of something. Americans are bad at pronouncing Japanese words. Germans are even worse. Like, the way the Germans pronounce Sasuke is they pronounce every letter. So when someone cries Sasuke, they instead cry Sasuke.
Yeah, that's every character in the German language is written as it is said. There's no silent letters. So.
Yeah, and I never considered asking anyone who knows Japanese, and there are people who study Japanese in Germany. That's how we get good fan subs here. They didn't even bother to ask him, hey, how do we pronounce this Japanese name? Nope, they just go, Sasuke! Yes. Well, because it's Naruto, there you pronounce everything, so that's okay.
Yeah. Imagine the director trying to...
the pronunciation is so off. It's not Sakura, it's Sakura!
Right. This is the same with
it
Mandarin.
Just up my toenails.
Everything you can read, you pronounce. That's how it's done.
Mm-hmm.
So...
And I do it, and it's horrible.
Yeah. Anyway.
Did they just add to the name, though?
I'm really lucky to have here in Brazil. The localization is really good.
Anyway,
they always overpronounce the second syllable.
What is this a Tales of game? I'm kind of curious what we're looking at here.
I think it is like one.
Yeah, it could be. I don't know. There's so many Tales of, so I don't know which one is which, but it looks...
I would think so, but I'm not sure.
Yeah. All right, anyway, let's just...
My mind is generic 3DS RPG game.
Oh, all right. Fair enough.
Be bringing up examples of several companies that have very good localization practices in the modern day. But to that I say there always was. The point back then was never that 4Kids was the standard. It was just how shockingly bad it was for something in the mainstream. taking on
Yes,
such
it
big
is. It's
properties
Tales
as
of the
One
Abyss.
Piece and Pokemon,
thank you.
to name a few. But again, at that time, we can point to other companies who did handle localization more faithfully. Let's establish, while I do disagree with the choices 4Kids made, there is a semblance of sense to it. It's in the name. It's a licensing company aimed at only children. They were in the business of children's entertainment, not bringing anime to a Western audience. They were completely shameless in their disregard for the author's original intent, just taking these properties and Americanizing them for said audience. That's not an excuse for these weird amalgamations they created, but it is important to understand the reasoning and to put into perspective how things haven't exactly changed for the better in some respects.
Yeah, because they were trying to make these kid shows for kids, as opposed to the companies that make changes today who are doing it.
Oh God, you will see those localizations.
Because they actively hate their viewing audience. I don't know.
Yeah, those companies didn't hate children. They were
they don't pay attention to
wrong
the
for
products they
censoring
bought.
it, though. But the intent was different.
IPs.
Yeah, like the intention, like if Yu-Gi-Oh. I don't know if it was directly Konami wanting to market Yu-Gi-Oh in the United States, or if it was 4Kids deciding, hey, we could make this card game show appeal to kids, but they did it to sell Yu-Gi-Oh cards. They did it to appeal to children because it was a show about playing card games. They didn't do it because they didn't make those changes to make a point or whatever. I really honestly don't know why Funimation and Nintendo Treehouse and all those companies do what they do, except active contempt of their viewing audience.
4Kids intro for Yu-Gi-Oh is better than the Japanese one. I watched the Japanese one and I didn't like it.
All right.
As I said, 4Kids, while mainstream, was targeting that one demographic. It was never the powerhouse of the industry. So, that being said, who is? I would argue when it comes to localization, two of the most recognizable names are Crunchyroll and Funimation, both having their hands not only in
these
anime
days, certainly,
but video games and other various merchandising as well. Not to mention, unlike 4Kids, they aren't selling themselves as an Americanization. They very much are in the business of anime, supposedly. In fact, a lot of their employees will tell you they are the business, and oftentimes there are cases of them shaming it.
Okay, there's words, so I need to pause and read the words. So who's who here? I don't know who these people are.
Yeah.
That's the problem.
Couldn't tell you.
Oh no, Digibro, God know why.
No names from Crunchyroll.
Who are the? Is this
Piracy
Miles
is
guy the no name from Crunchyroll?
Piracy is what brought anime to the West at large in the first place.
Sure, yeah.
There are other factors, but that is what brought the modern stuff over. And most of anime, like there were only a few select series back in the day, few select movies, and then there were in Europe and I think Canada as well, a few commissioned animes that here we all thought were Western cartoons, but we didn't know any better, by various countries. Among them, the Bee Maya, Heidi, this was the Swiss one commissioned by Switzerland. Alfred Jodokus Quack, that was one from the Netherlands. I think Canada had the Kabouter David, which was a Jewish gnome who was a judge for the animals that had quarrels with each other. That was a weird one, and a couple others too. But at large, anime came over through piracy and nothing else. If I remember the history of Crunchyroll right, it originated as a piracy site. So they're the last people who should complain about pirates.
All right. Well, a lot of...
I don't honestly remember that.
Yeah,
but
a lot of writers, or even with Neil Gaiman, he made the story about piracy. He said, well, yeah, a lot of people are now exposed to my work, and as soon as they were, I suddenly got a jump in sales because people who pirated my stuff wanted to buy it. So
yeah, and anime does not make money through distributors like, or the studios don't make much money through localizers like Crunchyroll, and we know that now that they are not, that they're actually a scam if you look at it, and all the other license holders. The studios are barely getting anything out of that. The studios make money through sales of BD-ROMs and merchandise, and most of that happens in Japan. If you want to support a particular studio, buy official merchandise and import it, and that would be silly prices.
I honestly would like to cut out.
There are some dedicated importers in the US and in Germany that sell the actual merchandise, and they get it from Japan, of course, the original stuff. So you can do it that way, but that's really all. That's how you can support these studios directly, by buying their actual stuff. All the stuff that these localizers bring here with their crappy dubs and crappy subs, honestly. Fan subs are usually qualitatively higher because they care. The studios aren't making anything of that. These are basically parasites.
I honestly would like to cut out the middleman and buy directly from Japan.
Oh yeah, most of Japan's money comes from the Japanese audience. This is why they don't care about left-wing Americans bitching.
Yeah, and I think it should be that way.
Well, it turns out the free subs that come from whatever fan groups do a really good job. So that's why whenever a new anime hits the Japan and it comes out that day, you just wait a week, get a really good translation from the sub, watch it there.
You cannot actually. There's some dedicated sites that put a timer when a new episode will appear.
Yeah, it's cool. Those are pretty neat. I'm pretty relaxed for my anime entertainment because there's not too much I watch these days. There's only one or two. So
I still have a big list there. Let's keep growing.
Yeah, I read more than I watch, and the manga I find more entertaining anyway. So it's more convenient as well, of course. Anime, you gotta spend an hour, just sit back, stop what you're doing, just watch it to appreciate it properly.
It's a more passive thing, even with subtitles.
Yeah. So.
And you need to be aware of the pop-ups of the site.
Oh, really?
when you have good subs, they explain cultural references and stuff.
I find
there was the best fan subs for Excel Saga were never finished.
Oh, really?
They were done by slow as hell fan subs, and slow as hell fan subs were so fucking slow as hell that they never finished the series. But their subtitles were so good, so on point, still funny, and explained this is a pop culture reference that you will not get if you live 5 years later than this episode. Also, it's a Japanese pop culture reference. This is what it means, and have this as a top screen title.
I'm trying to remember,
added to the subtitle.
I'm trying to remember the name of the studio that did amazing subtitles for matching every single thing that happens on the screen. Like someone's typing something in a Japanese keyboard, and the letters are popping up on the subtitle. Like, wow, they spent effort just to do every single Japanese characters. When you type something in Japanese, the character changes, and the person deletes the word, and it's just you see the subtitle get deleted. It's like, this is amazing.
I've seen fan subs like that, and even with signs on the screen that are important. Either it's overlaid that it's obvious that this is important. So here, look, this we translated it for you, or it is as fluent as you describe it, and you barely notice that it's translated. It's amazing effort.
Right. All right.
And I see that done more by fans than by the alleged professionals. On top of that, with the whole
honestly, these fan subs guys, they need to do companies and buy the license from the studios, and
that's where you get the people to do this right. And a similar thing with manga scans, that basically you can get it all for free on the internet. It's all out there. Whatever fans have translated, you can read for free. And still, these things are bought in the West. Apparently, it's nicer to first own these things yourself. Secondly, read something on paper that you can hold, not just a tablet.
All right.
And like Demon Slayer is the best example. Was available online, still outsold the US comic industry.
Barnes and Nobles have all shelves for manga and some shelves for comics.
The only Western comic-like thing that's going is France's one. Surprisingly, French like graphic novels.
Yeah, Franco-Belgian novels graphic novels are actually pretty good.
There is some amazing stuff there.
Don't overlook it. If you're in the US. If you want a really good Franco-Belgian comic, get Eric. Eric is the gateway drug for French comics.
Mm-hmm.
And I've heard there's a lot of good stuff in France.
If you're fed up with the bad quality of US comics right now, look at the Franco-Belgian stuff. They're more expensive, but you also see it in the quality.
If you want some really good military comics, Italy have some pretty good comics too. And if you want some... No, actual soldiers. The Italy have some really good military comics about the Vietnam War or World War II.
All right, let's get back to the video.
Supporting the company. It's clear they view themselves as the anime industry and want others to hold them in this regard. So let's look into both these companies and how they are choosing to localize properties.
Voice of the people.
While we will be discussing a lot of examples, I want to start with the most infamous scene that you've most likely heard about. That's 2017's Dragon Maid, in episode 12 of the original series.
This.
Oh no.
Yeah, here we go.
Thanks, Jamie Marchi.
When asked about her outfit, says this. Funimation chose to localize it as such.
Oh, those pesky patriarchal societal demands were getting on my nerves. So I changed clothes. Give it a week, they'll be begging you to change.
Oh my gosh!
Marchi.
Yeah.
I actually never heard that.
Yeah. Jamie Marchi. That's
yeah.
Not only did she say it, she wrote it.
That is the worst localization I've ever heard.
The voice actor for the character wrote the line?
Yes, Jamie Marchi, the actress who played Lukoa, wrote that line.
When do actors and actresses get to choose the lines?
Oh, Jamie Marchi loves to pretend she's a writer.
Oh, bring back 4Kids. That was 1,000 times.
She did a lot of that stuff. She wrote a lot of her
At least 4Kids tried to. At least 4Kids had a noble goal that she's making.
She plays a few characters, or played. I think it's been a while. In Smite. And she wrote a lot of her own lines for that too, and it's the same type of stuff.
Does she demand to be allowed to write it?
I don't know. I think she's a big enough name that she has that kind of pull at this point, even though she's not really that big a name, but she's been around long enough.
Makes me wonder if she regrets ever doing panty and stocking.
I couldn't tell you that.
Isn't she? It sounds more like she would want to get on shows like that deliberately in order to put her ideological bullshit into that.
Oh, that's almost certainly true.
I mean, imagine getting a Christian mom doing that and putting Jesus lines into everything.
That would probably be more tolerable than a line like that.
Legacy just pointed out in the chat, apparently Love is War is having the same problem in the dub version.
Oh, come on.
Good, great.
That is such a simple story. Why ruin it? Oh.
Yeah, no, I don't know why Love is War is such Christ ruin it.
Oh jeez. Anyway, are we watching Demon Souls? What is this?
I think it is Demon Souls.
Yeah, I think that is Demon Souls footage. I mean, it might just be Dimitri Monroe. Some of his gameplay footage, because I really don't know. Apparently, Jamie Marchi played Rias in High School DxD, which doesn't seem like an appropriate role for someone like her.
Again, if you ever watch Panty and Stocking, what she said in that anime, it was counter to anything she'd actually want to say nowadays. Like, I think she played a character that was just sex obsessed.
Yeah.
Like, she was banging somebody every episode.
She also played Ellie in Borderlands 3.
Huh. The big chick?
Yes.
Ugh. I hated that character.
Yes.
Unbearable.
Yes.
In every aspect.
All right. Let's get to this Demon Souls.
Is it do people like that? Why do they keep hiring such a person? Because she has a long portfolio?
Well,
yeah, probably.
If you just do shit long enough, will people think, oh, you have a long portfolio, let's hire you?
Well, I think what happens with a lot of these actresses is, or a lot of these voice actors, is they work for a particular company who gets the licensing to do the dub for however many properties, and then you have your in-house acting team, and they just kind of throw you at whatever until you have enough pull. It's all probably union stuff too.
Yeah, I was going to say that is nepotism too. Like, hey, this friend of mine is actually pretty good. You can hire it, and oh yeah, we will hire this person.
And as soon as you've got union seniority, then you get more and more work because it's a union job. So seniority is the only thing that matters.
And this is an art profession, and that should not run like that. We have this problem now in Germany as well, where you hear the same 6 voices everywhere.
No,
and it is atrocious. It is atrocious. And especially once you know that some of these actors are absolute shitheads, and when on top of them they're completely untalented hacks that always talk like robots, that never get emotions right if they even get any emotions out. It is absolutely horrible. And you hear these people everywhere. Back in the day, when they did localization, when they did German dubbing well, they would cast actors who, first off, knew how to act without showing themselves, like actual voice acting. Things that you, for example, do for an audio play, like a telling a story on a cassette. Like we had several long-running shows like that the kids were into. 2 of them detective groups of little kids. For biggest ones, like the Freeze question marks was one, and the other had some abbreviation I keep forgetting. Those are really big ones, and the voice actors from those they started in the 80s. Those voice actors are still active and they are good. But they cost money, so they're not hired for many things. And you can hear that. Back in the day, if there was a cartoon to be localized or made from the ground up somewhere in Europe, or an anime to be localized, they looked for actors that fit the roles, actors that sounded like the original voice actors, and so on, that could pull that off. They would listen to the original and then try to emulate how that original voice actor for the character talks. And they would look to make the text fit somewhat. Of course, there were absolutely atrocious versions, usually done by Arena Synchron Berlin. I think they're responsible for the atrocious German Ica dub, but then again, that's a forgettable anime. Except for, I think, 5 panty shots per second. Very infamous thing. But yeah, today it's just crap. It's just run down the lines. And It's not worth the money.
Nicalaco in the chat pointed out that all these VAs in the US showed up in the 90s, and they control everything because they are the only thing that left from that era.
Yeah. I know. Well, like I said, they basically took anybody with a pulse at the time, and then it's all union, so seniority wins.
Unions were in shit.
Like whether you like unions or not, which many people will stump very hard for unions. I can go either way on them, but it's all about seniority. So she's got seniority. She's been around since like 98 or 99 or so. She gets to do what she wants.
And whatever. Hola?
I was just going to say a name that comes to mind that's everywhere will be Tara Strong.
Oh, yeah. Who is a nut, by the way.
She's fucking everywhere. In every cartoon, there's Tara Strong.
Unions lost their purpose. They were used to be some way to the workers to have force in the negotiation. Now it's just a punished job. If you have a job in the union, you pretty much have all the money you want.
If you ever want to have some fun descending into the depths of insanity, go read Tara Strong's Twitter feed.
Oh no. It will ruin everything she's in for you.
Tara Strong is crazy.
Yeah, good voice actress, but
even for a person whose brain got broken by Donald Trump, Tara Strong is nuts.
All right, let's keep on going.
Oh, I wanted to rant on
unions.
Some issue.
We do that.
No, this is not a cast about unions.
Oh,
come on, we're at 3 minutes out of 42.
That's good. That's good
all right.
timing.
I want to know what's happening in this frame, so let's keep going.
While this is infamous, I never see people go into why this is such a bad change. There's more to it than what you see at a glance. Localization isn't about matching word for word everything. Lines will always be different, but they should do their absolute best to carry the same meaning. Let me explain. Immediately, the issue here is the joke has been completely reversed. Instead of it being that everyone was telling her to tone down the sexuality, and to her responding, well, your body is lewd on its own, the localizer made it so she's blaming the patriarchy, implying...
Oh, not that. It also shows that Toru is actually jealous of Lukua. Because the way she says it, she's jealous of Lukua having bigger tits than her.
Yeah, but these are dragons that can transform their shape, so it makes no difference.
No, not entirely. The one in season 2, I forgot her name. The little one with the I don't know, M cups.
Ilulu. Whatever.
It's explained that she can't make them smaller because they contain her fire.
Oh right, yeah, her powers. Yeah, okay. All right.
I mean, the magic's in the boobs.
Yeah.
But he's right here. They're flipping the joke around is what's going on even more fundamentally than awkward dialogue about the patriarchy is now Lukoa's the one who decided to cover up instead of being asked to cover up.
Right, and her entire character, as far as I recall, is just to flirt with her master, which is a little boy called Shota. So
yes, and it also, I don't remember if it was this episode or not. It also ruins the entire sequence when they're at the beach, and she keeps getting like arrested for indecent exposure. It ruins that scene because then like she was the one who was showing off,
right,
and getting asked to cover up.
This is the entire premise of the character, is to be this sexual woman who wants this kid to whatever.
This is a pedophile.
Essentially, if this was a guy.
I mean, yes, it's weird and uncomfortable.
Yeah, if this was a male, like a male in a thong or something walking around, it'd be like, well, this is kind of creepy. And he's always trying to hit on this little girl. It's like, whoa, let's slow down there, anime. What are you doing? So in this case, it's kind of hilarious because she's this ridiculous dragon creature who just wants to flirt with her master, and the master's this upstanding little kid who's like, don't touch me, get away from me, you're intimidating, leave me alone. And everyone's like, oh, what a nice mommy. She loves her son. So it's like, no, that's not what's happening.
It's making fun of the fact that female predators aren't taking serious.
It's a good joke. I think it works, and it's totally wholesome. Like, she's not trying to sleep with him. She's just trying to get really close to him physically. So I like that wholesome value, even though it looks overly sexualized. So
in the dragon world, is like the more powerful the dragon, the bigger their tits are. So like, is that a hierarchy thing?
Yes, something like that.
Oh, that's nice. Okay.
For the females, at least. I don't know about the males. Anyway,
if there is males,
there are the guy that plays the video games. He loves gaming.
Yeah, Tuesday.
It's their balls.
Goes up at the end of the first season.
Yeah. I didn't say it. You said it.
Anyway, let's keep going.
She had an issue with being sexualized, society, and all that. This does not fit the character at all. The entire purpose of Luoko's existence is to just molest a little boy. That is her character. She is the Ara trope to a T, and sure, she's great at it. But point being, the Shotokan molester is probably not the one who's going to give you a lecture about the patriarchy, and have an issue with the sexualization she so willingly presents. That's why the original joke works. She was designed to be a sexual character. The localizer just randomly found a scene to insert their own politics, without care for the character or the work, simply using them as a mouthpiece. It's insulting. Let's go to another example. In Interviews with Monster Girls.
This one.
Kari,
I love this anime. This is so cute.
Really?
It's
he touched this one too.
It's like 7 or 8 episodes. It's very short and it's perfect. It's just so well done.
You hate this line. I watched the video and I was like, why they do this? Why they made this line?
So the girl in the middle is, I think, a vampire or a half vampire or something like that. And
she's a vampire.
Yeah, she's a.
Wait, why does she have cat ears then?
Yeah, that was going to be my question.
Yeah, who knows? I can't remember.
I was trying to give it a stretch and say maybe they're bat ears, but that's just me trying to be nice.
Bat ears are kind of longer than cat ears. And more weirder.
Yeah. Anyway, let's just see what happens here.
Confronts a school bully. The Funimation dub sneaks in the line.
You're some kind of social justice warrior?
Now this line obviously doesn't match the original dialogue, and it makes no sense why this character would speak with this language. But even past
I said it, you guys will not like the line.
What the fuck?
Why would that even be there?
She's really excited about humanity. What the hell was she into? I can't remember. Because all the characters in the story have this passion about something. I can't remember what hers was aside from the teacher.
Oh, they're buns. Okay.
Yeah, that's her hair. It's her hair. Yeah.
Yes.
It's someone taught her how to do that. It's her sister or something like that, and she always does her hair that way.
What do you think about it?
But what's the context for that line?
Yeah, I don't remember the exact character of this particular scene.
The problem with these things is they're usually out of date even when they first come out because no one really uses social justice warrior anymore.
Well, I hear it a lot, but not outside, but online, what have you. So
even online, we'll just use other words like weirdo or.
Yeah, the story of this anime is there's these species from folklore that are in society and they've integrated, and they're just trying to adapt and get to know each other. So some of them are really cautious about that. There's a succubus teacher who's really hilarious. She's always like wearing lots of clothing because she has this natural ability to charm people and either put them to sleep to have like erotic dreams or to cause people to get sexually aroused with this just by walking past them. So there's all these inversions of the sexy cat girl or the Dullahan or all these other weird creatures that are they're just girls. They're just cute girls and they're going to school and they want a normal life and that's it. They have feelings like everyone else. And in this case, she likes to bite people, but she doesn't actually draw blood. She just like sort of gnaws on them. So
I like this animation. Usually anime makes their eyes a bit too big, but this is nice.
It's a wholesome story. It's really cute and it's really funny. So I thought they did a very good job with this.
As that, it's a terrible use of localization. Anyone not in the know
There
is
she is.
going to be confused by it, and anyone who is in the know is going to associate so much political baggage that the word is immediately immersion breaking. There was no need for this. Again, it simply removed the proper line and replaced it with a political jab. It's much like another...
And it doesn't make any sense. I mean...
Oh boy.
Yeah, it is. It does break
this
the
is the
setting.
prison school line,
Yeah.
isn't it?
Well,
That's
yeah.
what we're seeing.
Yeah.
Is this a prison school Gamergate reference? Is that what we're about to see?
Oh boy. Really?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Ho.
Never
was a
bring
weird-
present day politics in your creation. Never.
Yeah, you
Never.
don't...
Date the heck out of it.
Yeah, exactly.
It's gonna age like bad milk.
All right, let's see it.
Even if you thought it was appropriate, even if it may work, it ages like bad milk. 5 years later, nobody understands what this line even means.
Okay, let's go.
infamous instance in prison school where the character uses the phrase,
You got a stick up your ass? Or are you one of those dumbass Gamergate creep shows?
What?
That sentence doesn't even make sense.
What is that?
Gamergate is a very specific thing, so, like, is our timeline the same as theirs?
No.
Are they in an arcade?
No, and they're in Japan. So
probably
they
never
wouldn't
even
be.
heard of
What?
This is a gaming arcade, right?
And even like, let's leave all that aside. It doesn't make any sense. Those
How
two
does
things,
that-
those two possibilities, don't relate to each other in any way.
Okay.
You're either uptight or a Gamergate creep show. What does that even mean?
See, I'm thinking in the context of the game arcade, like these are competitive games. Like you sit on one side of the console and she sits on the other, and I don't know, they're facing off against each other or something like that, I think. And the only reference is because they're in a video game arcade, therefore they're going to mention Gamergate, whatever. I don't understand what's happening because that would never be brought up in a net bar or a video game arcade or whatever. So I want to know the context.
Especially in Japan.
Yeah, they don't give a
Because
shit. What the hell? Twitter? What's that? We don't care. We have like our own version of that, which we've already made our own. We could.
They have other problems like lacking birth rate and holding population.
They have real problems. Yeah, they don't care about technology too much as social media as much as we do.
Then you jump forward to My First Girlfriend is a Gal, and you start hearing stuff like this.
Inside of my what the hell is this? I can't read this sick misogynistic crap.
Oh, come on, they're just some light novels.
Okay, so if you guys don't know, was it called My First Girlfriend is a Gal? It's probably the worst story with a Gyaru style. There's all these other mangas that do it much better. And I don't know how this made an anime.
Oh no, it's not the worst.
No?
It's not good, but it's not the worst.
Okay, I haven't saw them all.
Let me tell you about something called gal cleaning.
Never heard of it. Okay.
Good.
All right. Good stuff.
And the thing that happened here really is she just read some erotic literature, right?
She's trying out for a piece in a video game, I think, a light novel. And she has to read the script. That's it. So there's going to be some sexual scenes.
Then if that is misogynistic, then all of the literature that all the feminist activists I know are reading, like their 50 Shades of Grey bullshit, they don't call that misogynistic.
Whisp, we're not even at the bad part of this line yet.
I think I've seen this one before.
Let's let it roll a bit so we can get to the bad part of this line.
Here we go.
They're heavy on the creepy sex stuff. Of course. Where's the fun in forcing these jailbait tricks to read something decent? Plus, most of the freaks who come in here hate women, so seeing girls degrade gives them boners and makes them happy.
What?
I remember
What was
this.
that?
Oh god.
Wait, what is the show? What are they? I completely...
I don't even remember the context for this because I don't
really
think it's even
short,
in the manga.
Nothing makes sense.
What show is this?
My first girlfriend is a gyaru, is a gal. Yeah. Honestly, just go watch or go read Gal Gohan. It's much more wholesome and funny and cute.
Joe Crazy says they're working for a maid cafe.
Oh, it's a maid cafe. Okay.
Yes.
All right, fair enough. what a line that someone says with a straight face. Want to hear it again? I do.
Side stuff! Of course! Where's the fun in forcing these jailbait tricks to read something decent? Plus, most of the freaks who come in here hate women, so seeing girls degraded gives them boners and makes them happy.
Oh my god!
How does it even work?
It's even better with the lip sync or lack of.
When you wake up and get morning wood, you're happy, okay? That's how it works. And you hate women.
If you hated women, why would you go to a maid cafe?
I don't know.
That's full of women. If you hate women, you don't want to see any women.
Wisp, you're thinking about this a lot more than the localizers did.
Well, feminists aren't known for thinking, are they?
No, that's the point.
Okay.
This how do they even keep their brains from not messing up their breathing rhythms?
Well, it's a really bad story with a really bad localization. Like it just does not work.
Oh man, like I said, this really is not that great a story. Like it later on in the manga, there's this weird bit where they're all disguised as ninjas at a festival for some reason, and they get caught in a basement. I don't know. It's really weird.
Yeah, this guy is so scared of saying he likes this girl, and he's giving like a superficial reason at the start, and then he eventually likes her as a person, and she's like a wholesome person to begin with, just like most gals in all these stories are. So.
Yeah, that's always the twist. Is it's always like the gyaru is actually
a wholesome,
like secretly,
yeah,
nice and innocent. Which fine. I don't need it to be. If I'm reading something like that, I don't need it to be revolutionary. But
exactly,
yeah, because if anybody doesn't know, the setup is that he asks her out on a dare. And she says yes, and they start dating. And the whole story is basically him trying to get in her pants because he wants to stop being a virgin. Only eventually he realizes that kind of makes him a dirtbag. It's not great.
No, it's a silly setup, and he's a dumb.
Sounds
all these
like
protagonists are just boring and lame, and it's just have a backbone.
Sounds like the average Japanese.
I don't know. They do they do this with every manga, not just the romance comedies. The hero is always just dumb, doesn't understand sexuality, doesn't understand human relationships, doesn't understand what he wants, and he's scared of it. He's like, "Oh, I can't. I didn't mean to look at your panties. Oh my god." It's like, okay, sure. Whatever. But he does admit that, yeah, originally I was attracted to your looks, but now I realized you're a good person. He does admit that later on. So it's like, oh, okay, that's something. Anyway, that's it. That's the story. It just drags on. It's 150, I don't know, chapters still. It's still going. It's boring as hell. Anyway.
How these girls feel for once. Maybe they don't want to be debased just so you can sell a few more chicken wings to horny losers with mommy issues.
Check out the balls of this kid. Come in here and lecture me, you dickless cuck. Book day's been
canceled. That was one hell of a nice guy speech.
With this scene, the main
cuck.
Yeah, that was a scene that somebody wrote on purpose.
SJWs. Men who hate women get boners and are happy because they're degrading. What? Like what? Oh, wow, that's 2 paragraphs of just.
yeah. The way that
almost got a bingo.
Men,
he just had to call them Trump supporters.
Yeah.
The way that feminists view men is absolutely delusional and just hateful.
Well, remember, their main interaction is male feminists.
Well, yeah, that explains a lot. I mean, if you've met a few nice guys in your life, you think like, or even just one, and then you think about it that feminists are basically surrounded by nice guys. That's male feminists. Most of them are nice guys, and almost nice guys are male feminists. And I'm pretty sure then you can get that idea that all men are like that, and it's also nice guys who do not take a no for a no. And I'm not talking about the first one. I'm talking about the 23rd one. They don't take. You can tell them no again and again and again, and they will keep trying, and they will get more and more creepy because they do not understand when they should back off. They think, oh, it's just more of a challenge. They just need to be more persistent. They just need to be more forward because they think. They really think it's this that it's the what is it the conquest game all along, that it's always the conquest game. You just need to push hard enough and you can get any girl or the girl you want. It is really dumb, and I believe that because of this, that the feminists want the first no to be final. With this no means no crap, when that just breaks the dating game, and so it's just a reaction to another extreme.
Yeah, this is why we have beer.
Maybe if we get rid of the nice guys, then maybe the feminists calm down a little bit.
All right.
I don't know.
Yeah, let's not get into.
Just send them to the sun.
I like Noid's. Noid put in, "You're gay because I like men. I'm gay because I hate women. We are not the same." Funny.
Well, it's like political lesbians. They're not lesbian because they like women. They're lesbian because they hate men. And lesbians can attest that they're really shit and bad.
Okay.
The target audience of the anime has been smeared as women-hating, misogynist freaks, as well as inserting terms like cuck and again, SJW. That's a big step up from the self-depreciating humor the show already had.
Yeah, you generally don't want to attack people who like visual novels or manga or anything tangentially related to the medium you're already trying to sell on. Doesn't work very well for that audience. Like video games, like all this stuff is wrapped up into the same, like people into anime or into video games or into movies or into this and that. They're all connected. And you don't want to attack any of those demographics, even slightly, because you're attacking your audience. So, especially with manga and anime and visual novels, they're all connected. So, bad choice.
That's not to say it's a problem when anime decides to laugh at the market itself. Plenty do. It's that none of this was in the show to begin with. The whole point of the scene in the sub was about the discomfort of the girls, as well as the reason why the customers would like this sort of thing. In fact, that's the commentary itself. The show explains why this scene exists in the first place right there. Yet the dub explicitly makes it mean-spirited, slandering erotic light novel readers. It never ends, honestly. There are shows that are coming out literally today as I am voicing this script.
Oh, I remember this one.
How they changed a completely innocuous scene to include a character stating,
"Hey, bitches and bros and non-binary hoes!"
These choices aren't done.
What?
Still a gender term.
Okay, so first of all, what? Second of all, it's like I said earlier, the difference between 4Kids and Funimation is that Funimation has open contempt for its target audience.
I don't even want to know what a non-binary hoe is.
All of them.
Just say bitches and hoes.
It's just a thing of our imagination.
It's not even like a good line.
It's already bad propaganda before with all the feminist sexist stuff. But this is another level because it's bringing in pseudoscience terms from the ideology.
All right, here's Kyle Rocket. Thanks for the one. Did you forget what world you live in? No only means no when a woman says no. I've seen multiple videos where women literally said a man can't say no to sex. Really?
I mean, it's not allowed.
Oh.
They say it's reverse rape when you deny the woman sex.
What? Excuse me? What? Reverse?
What?
I've read the article.
No, don't you get it? Women can't rape men. Only men rape. Because rape is power plus force, something like that. I forget how they go about it.
If you've ever seen, there's like this.
So if you use your power as a man, if you use your power as a man to deny the woman sex, you're basically raping her.
There's this like wheel of relationship abuse, and if you read the whole thing, it basically boils down to anything that a man does is some kind of abuse, or
doesn't do, apparently.
Yes.
Well, yeah, withholding sex is considered a form of abuse in a relationship.
Yeah, and noticing the sexual assets of a woman is abuse, and ignoring the sexual assets and advances of the woman is also abuse.
I would imagine not talking to a woman would be the greatest form of assault ever.
Wait a second. If denying sex is abuse, that's something a lot of MGTOWs will say, that a woman denying sex is wrong.
Yeah, but
I think that depends on the MGTOW.
It depends. I've seen a few. I've gone to a few channels.
Oh yeah, no. I mean, withholding sex is something that often leads to divorce. It's cited a lot, but it's not considered abuse when the woman does it.
Anyway.
You know, because
I suppose it gets into weird thing like what's the appropriate amount of sex.
Marriage.
Anyway, yeah, let's get back to anime. I don't want to get into relationships right now.
Aren't done at the service of the show, the characters, anything to do with the work. In fact, it even contradicts it at times. The only purpose of these changes is to slip in their own stances, boast how progressive they are, and then take jabs at their opposition, or their own audience in some cases. That's the key difference here, as we go in to talk about more of this. To reiterate, this is not a defense, but with 4 kids, there was something inherently charming about the child-friendly Americanizations of the shows handed to them. We still joke about the One Piece rap, the Shadow Realm, jelly-filled donuts. There's so many countless examples, we probably all have our favorites.
God, that's some hot sauce and barbecue sauce.
And so what if he's more powerful? I'm really good at playing card games. And that's what life is really all about anyway!
Okay, that's kind of funny though. I laugh at that.
I remember seeing that video, like a clip of that scene where people were like, is little Karibo doing treatment for the Yu-Gi-Oh! GX scripts?
No.
Listening to this guy brag about how good he is at card games.
In hindsight, I agree that these bad dubs are almost innocent in how they are bad compared to like it's like with the with the prequel trilogy. It's flawed. It's bad in many ways, and we complained about it, and then we got the Disney movies, and that is what made people have more appreciation for Lucas being confused in making movies.
In writing scripts.
I think this is a similar thing, because the Disney movies were made with malice, and the Crunchyroll localizations, they are made with malice. All the examples we've seen, they're made with malice, and this is just goofy incompetence. Goofy incompetence is I take goofy incompetence over malice any day.
All right. Here's Kyle Rocket. Thanks for the 1, sir. You guys missed me Friday. I would have come in the chat and roasted Maggie May Fish like I usually do, but it was my 21st birthday, and I wanted to drink. Well, happy birthday, sir. I hope you had a good drink.
Happy birthday.
I guess to me, every day is my birthday, so I drink every day, but whatever your poison of choice.
Happy birthday.
Have a great one on me, whatever it is. And tell us this story, because everyone likes a nice drinking story. It's always fun. Okay. Anyway, back to Yu-Gi-Oh!
Boss, you got the blood vessel! Who cares? I'll just buy a new one!
As unnecessary as these are, What makes them endearing in a sense is there's nothing necessarily malicious about them. 4Kids changes were usually playful, absolutely absurd, and brought about by nothing but desire to make the shows what they deem for young demographic. Whereas
a cigarette to a lollipop? What?
Oh yeah, that happens all the time.
And then imagine we get that stuff in Germany, and then our censors are still not happy and change even more. Like I think this giant 3 feet long shuriken in the back of someone that doesn't even exist.
Oh, they just take it out? Oh wow.
No, it's not there.
It's on this 4Kids show was just boomers trying to. This might not really good for kids and just doing silly stuff.
Okay, well,
it's still wrong, but
yeah,
it is better than what Funimation is doing.
Yeah, and you can make really good dubs. It's possible, and when you respect the material and you capture the spirit of it, and that shows in the. I think the culmination of that is the German dub of Disney's Jungle Book, because that got prizes for its localization, and it's deemed better, not by Germans but in general, internationally, as better than the original, and the songs deemed better than the original. Because they had that poets sit down and write good songs that capture the idea of the original songs and make them rhyme and work with the music, and they're everybody knows them. The songs from later Disney movies, nobody knows them. Like maybe when one of these movies comes out and then they all sing the Frozen crap, that's it. But then they usually sing the English one as well, because the German one, it doesn't even rhyme. It doesn't even what's it called? It's not even in sync with the music, with the rhythm. It's just, what's this? Did you literally translate the words? It's just lazy crap. Good localization is possible, but you need to put work into it.
One of the English dubs that everyone says is really good is the Black Lagoon one. Everyone I talk say, okay, yeah, the dub is actually really good.
They say the same about Cowboy Bebop, but I've never really...
I kind of like the Dragon Ball dub because Vegeta sounds weird in Japanese.
In Germany, we had the for the first 6 episodes of Dragon Ball Z, where you had Vegeta in them. He was voiced by the German voice actor who also voiced Steve Urkel and SpongeBob.
What?
And the audience was
Vegeta was voiced by SpongeBob.
Yes, and Steve Urkel, same guy.
I've heard the German SpongeBob. Now I'm trying to imagine him playing Vegeta.
Funny enough,
we had the same voice actor. It was the same voice actor that also did Steve Urkel. So you had just you saw Vegeta speak, and you in your head you either have Steve Urkel or SpongeBob, and it is supposed to take him seriously. And
here in Brazil,
Vegeta just kills someone and goes, "Did I do that?"
He didn't.
But in German,
he didn't. Yeah, but he didn't do Steve Urkel or SpongeBob lines, but the voice. And the voice actor, he tried to be serious and all of that, but it's still the voice.
Yeah, it's still like
it was like one of the few.
It's like hearing Tom Kenny in anything else. You just hear SpongeBob in the back of your head.
Here in Brazil, it's the Goku.
Yeah.
It's the Goku VA that does the SpongeBob.
And it was one of the few times that the audience backlash of the kids watching the show was that big, and that was at the end of the 90s. It wasn't an internet thing. They actually wrote to the studios on paper, or called the studios that made it, and complained and said, "You get another voice actor. What the fuck? Why do we have Steve Urkel?" Because we were mostly used at that time. At that time, that was the voice of Steve Urkel, not yet SpongeBob.
Right, SpongeBob hadn't.
SpongeBob wasn't that big yet. and they changed the voice actor to someone who sounded more adult and a bit more deeper, a bit more gruff, but still a bit high, but not like that. Like they actually made a good choice there.
All right.
Their fan backlash changed something. It's basically like the Sonic movie.
Okay, let's keep going.
People like the Funimation translators use others' work as a vehicle to express their seething bitterness toward the Ghost of Gamer.
Just remember if there's see, Jamie Marshy wrote them all.
Yeah, she is an evil witch,
and she honestly wrote this garbage, and it's literally where, like, how I talk about how the writer will write that crap line and then lean back and go, oh yeah, oh, I wrote that, I'm so good at this, only she's doing it unironically. She's actually like bragging about being terrible at her job.
She's bragging about being malicious and destructive at her job, shitting over media and culture and entertainment. She's shitting over escapism, pushing her politics into it. That is beyond evil. Because these things, they will not ever be remade, most of them. There will not be a new English dub in anytime soon.
While mocking those that take issue. Mind you, these modern changes are not just political. So let's get into another more subtle aspect. Now, much like the last section, there's new examples every season of horrible localization changes, done to both subs and dubs. Oftentimes, they're unnecessary, and will frequently cause the work to age awfully, such as the addition of social distancing lines to Love is War. Or others can just be the toning down of topics that the translator finds disagreeable, such as Mion's mother's sexual comments toward Kaiichi in Higurashi. However, to really dive into my point about these unnecessary changes, I want to take a look at a recent example in Higurashi Go. Above all else, what immediately caught me off guard, and other viewers as well, would be the translation of contained in the subbed release. In this context, Oni-chan is how you would pronounce Big Brother in Japanese. The phrase Nini does not have any translation, as, obviously, it's a cute nickname based around the pronunciation of the word. Traditionally in Higurashi, this is something kept as such, because there is no translation. It's seen similarly to other cute noises the characters make. But if you were to do a translation, at least from my perspective, you take the concept, whether it's shortening Big Brother to Big Bro, or being even more identical, keeping the repetition, something like Bro Bro. Even saying that, though, I don't think either of those are a good substitute, which is again why it's typically not touched, but the choice the localizer went with in this case was Big Brooder.
What?
Even though Sadako was never speaking with a childish lisp.
In what language is that a word?
Well, it's not that it's a word. It's
that's not a word.
It's a kiddie way of saying it's, you know, like saying brother with a speech impediment almost.
You're retarded.
I mean, if you remove a D, you get a German word, but what are you doing?
It's like saying brother with like a Hawaiian accent almost. Like, you know, you can call
misspell
someone
that
brother
in different ways. In Small Gods, Terry Pratchett deliberately named the main character Brother because he's a monk. But it's written in a way that it's not directly obvious. I think it's Brutha.
Oh, brother.
Yeah, because he's a monk, but it's kind of it's a bit of a pun, I guess, and that works.
I'm thinking
but
of
here, this is just bullshit.
Yeah, I'm thinking of that song. Didn't you kill my brother? I don't know if you guys have ever heard that one. It's kind of a repetitive song, but it's ironic at the end where he's actually thankful the person did in fact kill his brother. But it's pronounced funny, like brother almost. So
yeah, like it's
like a British slang.
Brother is not unheard of, but it's not something that you would associate with a little kid. It's something you would associate with like a surfer. Like it reminds me of that cartoon Rocket Power from the 90s.
Yeah.
Where one of the characters would call people brudda. Like Brudda, brudda. So that's what it reminds me of. It doesn't remind me of a little kid. A little kid, it should be either you leave it alone, like you said, you either leave it alone or you translate it as big bro or just bro. And even that, like, I don't know, you find something.
Yeah, like take the person's name, shorten it to the vowel, and then repeat the vowel if you want, or elongate it.
Yeah, well, that's what happened with in Fire Emblem Awakening. One of the characters is returning from being in the original game because she's a dragon, so she, she doesn't age the way everybody else does. In the original game, she's young. She's like 1,000 years old, and she looks like a little kid, and she bonds with the main character, Marth. And in the Japanese, she calls him, I think she uses Ni-chan to refer to him, or Oni-chan. That's what she calls him. So when they localize that, instead of using like Big Bro or whatever, they localized it, because his name is Marth, as her calling him Marmar, because it's like a little kiddie nickname.
Right.
And that's the kind of thing you can get away with. That's an actual workable example of this.
Yeah, that sounds good.
Like, they wanted to convey that she was a little kid using this little kiddie pronunciation of a term, and so they did something similar without whatever this is. But this is another thing I would associate more with incompetence than anything else. That's just like, what is driving you to make this particular decision?
Yeah, and it, not only does it work with certain other languages and not others, when kids call each other nicknames on, growing up or whatever, they'll invent a word, they'll invent a name, and they'll call you like Moose or whatever based off something. So they could have gone the creative route and just made up a word or used a nickname or something, but they didn't. They went with some colloquialism or some sort of phonetics for slang, which is not what kids generally say. Maybe they do in Japan, but it's mostly
I
vowels.
don't know, but like when you have this character refer to her brother as Big Brudder,
yeah,
all it makes me think of, instead of making me think of like a familial bond, is it makes me think of Homestar Runner. And I might be dating myself a little bit, but there's a character in Homestar Runner who's a one-legged dog, and his name is Lil Brudder, spelled the same way.
Yeah.
So that's what you're putting in my head.
I always look at Luigi, because everyone knows that's an Italian name. And there's also Lou or Louis, which is even a shorter version of that. But Luigi comes from a full name called Luigino. So you have all these extra vowels and all these extra consonants, and there's just like this big word. No one's going to call, your friend or your brother or whatever this huge full name. You're going to go Lou, because that's just easier. And this is what a kid would do that naturally. They wouldn't start pronouncing all this big word just to say hello. So it's cuter and simpler to repeat a phonetic that's one syllable long and twice and do it quickly. For brother. So Nini makes perfect sense. And you have to find a cultural equivalent, and you can't, so you have to do something creative. You have to think it out. Figure out how to do that, because you can get away with that in animation. Nini is barely animated in the face when you see the scene. So yeah,
I honestly wouldn't know what to do with the German word.
Oh God, no, that don't even bother.
So it's just what? No, it's just Bruder. It's like the one on the screen, just pronounced differently when the D less.
Oh, okay.
But I wouldn't know how to make a cute version out of that.
Oh, you can't. No, not with German. No, it doesn't work. I've watched.
It would just get longer. There is a diminutive, but it doesn't work for this context.
I tried watching Babylon 5 with German. It's a bit terrifying, actually. So.
Well, the German dub was quite okay, at least for GK and Molari.
Oh yeah,
they were really good. Kosh was much better in the German dub.
Really?
Yeah, there was a more room-filling voice and had better effects over it.
Huh. Wow.
So to make it and he had the lines he said, they sounded a bit more mystical as well.
Oh yeah.
So those were the good parts. The Babylon 5 dub is okay.
Yeah.
So when that was still the early 90s, that's when the studios, the localization studios still cared.
Interesting.
Hey Wisp, can I ask you a question?
Hello.
What does Schwarz mean?
Schwarz.
Yes.
It means black. It's the color black.
Yeah, that's interesting.
Why?
There's a character in G Gundam called Schwarz Bruder.
That means black brother.
So, yes.
Oh.
Well, it should be Schwarzer Bruder to be grammatically correct, but then the Japanese don't care about that.
Yeah.
Just like, look, German word.
Yeah,
exactly.
Like in the
German words.
even if you never watched the entire series, you must watch the opening episode of Legend of the Galactic Heroes on the where they're on the wonderful cruiser or whatever battleship Brünnhild. It's beautiful. It's a beautiful episode. It's a good standalone movie. I think it was Legend of the Galactic Heroes.
Yeah,
just watch the first episode. It's beautiful.
All right, everyone recommends that one for obvious reasons. All right, we're almost
recommended for different ones. Okay.
Yeah. Here's we're 10 minutes in. How are we doing, guys? You guys doing okay? Everything cool? You're happy with keep going? Okay, we're gonna go for another few minutes, see how it goes. This is a good video. He's doing a good job. I'm happy.
Yep.
Nickname. Yet, this is what we're left with. This might not seem like a big deal at first, and you might just chalk it up to a bad choice by the localizer. But what came from the situation is far more telling. This was not a popular choice at all. Nini was something memorable, so changing it was always going to come with backlash. When the criticism began pouring out online, the translator took to Twitter to tell everyone she made the correct call. How this choice was better than the work of old. A lot of her justification, though.
I'm gonna be pausing it probably every time a tweet shows up because I want to read over what nonsense she wants to use to justify this. Big bro would be easier to work with functionally.
Tati or Poppy when they were little attempts to call me Katie. Really?
Okay,
Poppy
so
is
you've got
weird, because that's German word for father.
Well, she's Greek, right? So
the cute word for father.
Well, they were probably like if her name is Katie, they were probably her little siblings her little brothers were calling her they were probably saying Papy.
Papy, yeah.
Yeah. Which, I mean, that's also, okay, it's a German word for father. It's also the Spanish word for father. It's
Yeah.
Okay, so yeah. It would an idea would be to have her mispronounce his name. Yes, okay. Like I said, with that character from Fire Emblem. So let's see.
It was based on the fact that her little brothers would struggle saying her name, and when explaining her process of talking to her peers, for how they would translate it.
I came to a verdict. Everything was horrible.
I agree. This is one of these things where translation is really, really fucking hard.
Yeah.
And you're on top of that, you're constrained. It's not like you're translating a book. You have a little bit more room in subtitles. It's still more room than in a dub, but you are still constrained to the confines of the screen.
Yeah,
it's difficult. It's really, really difficult. These are cultural language barriers on top.
Okay, so what show is this from? Higurashi something?
Higurashi no Naku Koroni. This looks like a modern version of that. I never finished the original. It just got too horrible.
Higurashi, I think.
Higurashi is if you want an anime that makes you want to kill yourself, this is it.
Oh. Okay then.
Wait.
Yes, it looks very cute. It also makes you want to kill yourself.
Okay. Really?
Dare I ask why?
Yeah, as I understand it, it's not a happy show.
Oh.
Okay, so this is Higurashi. Yes.
Yes.
So I don't know anything about the show. What is the main character's name?
I forgot. It's 10 years that I watched the first show. It's basically as far as I watched, it looked like, and it took a while to understand this. When you play a visual novel, and you get to a bad ending, you restart the game, and you go a different route, and it's and that's the next story arc. Like you have 3 episodes of the first bad ending, then you have the next thing, and the story starts from the beginning. But it's not like this Re:Zero where the character is aware that things are resetting. It's just this is the new run through, and Higurashi is basically doing that and going through the next bad ending, and as the next story happens, the next play through the story, more of what's actually going on in the world is revealed, like a new character. And that other character is actually not a split personality character, but something else, and so on and so on. And this nice character is actually a psycho, and this gruff guy is actually good or something, like, and so on and so on. It's a tough ride. So if you like that kind of stuff, yeah, go watch it.
That sounds miserable.
It is masochistic to watch, and at the same time, it has this diabetes-inducing cute art style.
The art style reminds me of it looks like the guy who designed the characters for like the Monogatari series. Reminds me of that.
Oh, really?
And then imagine you have gore.
The anime, not the manga, which I guess it was an anime before it was a manga because it was a light novel series first. But,
and you have with these characters, you have gore.
Oh,
really?
So Joe Crazy said that the main character's name is Keiichi.
Right.
Yeah, it's Keiichi.
I mean, there's I can think of several ways that you could have a younger sibling mangle that trying to say it, or just use one syllable twice.
Yep.
Like
yeah,
Chi-Chi.
it would work.
There you go. Chi-Chi. I just came up with a better one than she used. So no, Big Brother was not the least worst option because I just came up with a better one in about 5 seconds. I'm a better localizer than Katrina.
I think she didn't get the idea. She despite her kids having done it to her, she didn't come up with the idea of just doing something with the character's name. Happens.
All right, let's keep going.
Yeah, so.
It was very jokey and quirky. They bring up phrases like Big Chungus or having her say Big Shitter instead of sister. Obviously, I know these were not serious contenders, right? But it's the fact that this process, these changes, seem simply done to change, to inject a personal quirk, above all else, into a piece of media that isn't theirs. And to repeat, they went after something considered memorable by the community, seemingly purposefully to cause friction. This has never been changed in any official release in the Higurashi series. Before, and even the dub that came after, didn't screw this up. I can't speak for everyone, but the consensus online seemed to be similar. It took me right out of several scenes that should have emotional weight. This clearly wasn't done to help the script in any way. It had the opposite effect. A lot of localizers seem to be willing to sacrifice the integrity of a story or aspects of a character just to put that little personal, this is my thing now, touch. In fact, if we look over at Crunchyroll, limiting ourselves to finding a identical situation even, we will see yet another example in Princess Connect, the newest gacha game Crunchyroll has localized. When the character Mimi says Oni-chan, this is clearly audible. But what we get in text is Mr. Nice Guy. That is just awful.
What?
Mr. Nice Guy? What?
Ah.
How?
Ay, ay, ay. That's terrible.
Yeah, and look at the phonetic word use of yay, which is a dialogue. Which is all dialogue, but you don't do that. You don't need to do repeated vowels in dialogue. Just put one, or the long a, or two to make a longer sound. That's it. You don't need four. This is basic shit. You don't. I don't know where they learn English, but you don't do this in any grammar for dialogue. Happy times. Okay.
Sometimes in translation, Mr. is chosen instead of Big Brother, because while we typically see Oni-chan as the word for Big Brother, it's not strictly used for sibling relation. Oni-sama, Oni-san, and Ni-chan all technically mean older brother as well, but can have different connotations. So in this case, the simplest way to explain the context is to say Oni-chan is used endearingly toward older males. That is why, depending on the situation, Mr. can be a decent substitute. Ultimately, though, that endearing or warmness that comes with it is what's important. This translation changes that tone. It's unnecessary for the sake of being different and quirky. It's not even a case like Nini, where there is no translation to begin with. You have two options from the get-go. There seems to be a common belief that localization is about adding your own personal flair to a product.
Oh, I remember this.
God.
Yeah,
they take pride in mistranslating words. Wow.
Yeah, I remember when this was a little controversy, and people were like, "Haha, you show them. Look at all of the." It was one of those deliberately provocative statements where she followed it up with saying, "Look at all everyone in my replies proving my point." Kind of things.
This is just bullying.
Yeah, which, like his note there says, it's a rude way of saying you as a collective, and that's generally what the translation is.
Yeah, I think if you learned a language, you would want to be as accurate and correct as possible. You wouldn't want to take liberties because you're clever or you think a certain way. I would hey, this is the correct pronunciation, this is the correct phonetics, this is the correct writing. That's how it should be done. There's no other way. You could try the secondary way, but that's just the same thing over again. That's what I would be as a professional if I was doing translations. You wouldn't just, I'm gonna change the word entirely. I'm gonna make it modern. No.
Any serious company that had standards would just fire her for this.
Yeah, that's the problem is you're talking about.
That's a problem.
Company.
You're talking about.
These are not serious companies. These are not serious companies. That's why I'm saying these are scam operations.
Also, more like petty translator Sarah Moon.
They're basically parasitizing the artistic products of other people to make a buck on it through false advertising. The false advertisement is that they are making a localization of it. What they really do is make propaganda out of it.
Well, in this case, they're using slang.
These are not localizations; they are propaganda now.
Now, slang could make sense if the tone and whatever is being used makes more sense for the times of, like, say today, as opposed to like the 1970s. Like they were translating Astro Boy or whatever. It'd be like, okay, we need some updated language to get the word right. But that's not even the right word. Why would you bother?
Yeah, this is just political propaganda here.
Yeah. Okay.
And in some cases, it is even looked down on, and even seen as boring if the adaptation doesn't have a quirk to it. That is something I believe to be heavily misguided. And when this is argued against, some will often bring up how the alternative is a stiff translation, saying that changes need to be made.
Sorry, like I said, I have to stop this because I want to read what these people are saying. Subtitles are adapted. You're not getting it. Yeah, that's great. Accusations of censorship are either a misunderstanding or it's used because it feels like a moral crime. They didn't just make a choice because you disagreed. They censored it, unless, of course, they literally did censor it. Like, that does happen, where they will censor things in localization.
Yeah, visually and in the text.
I feel like a lot of people don't understand how bad directly translated scripts would be. See, this is like
they're talking
Last
down like
Jedi defense, where we get a complete binary either or.
Yeah, that's
where it's like you just wanted a direct word for word translation. It's like no,
capture the spirit of it. That's what I brought up with the German version of the Jungle Book. It's beautiful, and I hate Disney movies, but that is beautiful.
All right.
Yeah, and it's like we understand, concessions have to be made, but
Big Brother.
What you're doing is not cool.
If in the original Japanese, the Japanese line is not making reference to an obscure Japanese internet movement rebelling against Japanese games media, why do you feel the need to reference Gamergate in your localization? You can localize that line without it feeling stiff and also without referencing Gamergate.
Yeah.
That's not necessary. If Lukoa is not talking about the patriarchy in Japanese, you can localize that without referencing the patriarchy.
It's also very Americanized, because a lot of people watch foreign things to understand more about that foreign society. Mm-hmm. So why are you putting your own local thing? I don't want to know American. I already know American. I want to know Japan.
Yeah, and you don't you don't need to translate every nook and cranny. You can't even do that. The German Terry Pratchett translations, for example, they're very good. They're seriously very good, but they couldn't translate every joke. If you know English very well, you can read the text and even understand at some points, oh, in the English there would be a joke here because there would be a pun here, but this is a point where you can't translate a pun. And good authors, good translators manage to either capture the essence of what's going on, and it still seems funny in some way.
Right, yeah.
Or tell an appropriate joke that you understand in your language, but that doesn't disrupt the story and that doesn't mischaracterize the people.
Right.
And I because I love this example. In the Jungle Book, the song that Baloo sings, Bare Necessities, that's a pun. The pun couldn't be translated into German. It doesn't work. Because the bear is the bear. There's nothing that rhymes on it that makes sense in any way. But the essence of Baloo's character is captured in the German version. Because the text is, probier's mal mit Gemütlichkeit, mit Ruhe und Gemütlichkeit. It means, try it with coziness and calm. And that's the song that goes on, and it rhymes, and it's beautiful, and it just shows that Baloo is just he's just going through life in this leisurely manner, And
yeah,
it's
he's
just
a laid-back, relaxed character.
Yeah, and it gets that across, and it's a beautiful song. It's a beautiful poem.
Right. So
but it's not. It doesn't have the pun in it, but that's not a loss in that case.
With simple,
we here in Brazil we did lost the bear pun too, because here it became o necessário, somente o necessário, o extraordinário é demais. So we kind of lost the pun too. But he captures Baloo spirit.
I'm trying to think of, with a complicated problem with a word that doesn't quite fit, you can use a loaded word that has multiple meanings, so you can take it multiple ways, and the audience can figure out what it actually means. And one example I know from going to school is the word comrade. I went to school with some Russians. They speak Russian. They use the word comrade in Russian as well as in English. And to everyone else, comrade means, I think, like soldier or a person in a group as a soldier with another soldier. But to them, it means friend, a close friend. So we don't know that, but it doesn't mean you can't use that. And people who hear that go, "Oh, that's an interesting. Why are they using that in what context?" Well, you could take it literally, which it clearly isn't. There's no one a soldier in the scene. But what else could it mean if you understand the word? Oh, a friendship, a relationship, an organization you're a part of, something closer than just calling someone a friend or a bro.
And that's the reason why the communists are so keen on using that word.
Yeah.
Everyone in a socialist party calls each other comrade.
Yeah, they want to refer to their organization.
They say comrade.
Yeah, and where it comes from, where the comrade comes from, is it's more obvious in the German version of the word Kamerad. The Kamerad is it comes from Kammer, which is a small room, and you share the Kammer with a fellow soldier. So that's your Kamerad, the guy you share the room with in the military.
Right.
So it's someone you will inevitably get somewhat close with, you'll get to know him, and you'll probably have each other's back because you know each other. That's why it's a Kamerad. You share the room with, that's the comrade.
But they've used it for meaning something else, and it's just this silly thing. It used to be a beautiful word, and they're just reinterpreting it as whatever. You can do these things properly. This is where you get into writing and writing dialogue and narration for your own stories. And using words that are loaded, have multiple meanings, allow the audience to go, what does they mean by that? Because I could take that word three ways, because there's three different sections that different disciplines use. And that's what I like to see. If you have a complex problem like localization, and it's something common like friendship or dad or family, that's everyone knows the meaning, the base meaning, like father or brother. But there's a Japanese version of that, and maybe there's an equivalent in English or French or something that you could pull with. That's what I want to see. I don't want to see made-up slang that doesn't work, doesn't connect.
It's difficult. It's rare that it works. The thing is with Japanese that they have all these connotations with honorifics that you don't have that much languages, and that makes it so hard to translate. The way you do it is you figure out what is the connotation here, and how do I get that across?
Yeah, the suffixes really are confusing because we don't understand the honorific with an old style feudal Japan term. Like I read dono a lot, and it's strange because that's how a samurai might talk back in the day, or a military guy.
But that's how you speak to someone above your station.
Right. But when you hear an average person, a student in a rom-com say it, you're like, that doesn't connect right. Why is she talking like that? Is she some part of some feudalistic family or something?
Oh, it's a hint at that she's completely in over herself with how she sees the other person.
And it's this whole hierarchy. This person is way above your grade. Yeah. So you could work with that. There's ways to work with that outside of honorifics, and provided the animation of the mouth and the scene, allows the language to fit in there, you can do things like honorable one or whatever you want to go crazy with to show how formal they are and old school. Like we talk about Parisian French and modern French, and how Napoleonic age was a thing, and everyone spoke a certain imperial way. So you could reminisce to that era and speak in that tone, but if there's no direct understanding, then don't bother inventing up words. Just do something quaint. Anyway, let's just keep going. We've talked enough on this.
For adaptions, these dismissals are willfully ignoring the nuance of the issue and pretending people are asking for something they are not. This isn't black and white.
Very amusing choice using footage of Persona after showing an awful take from Xander Mobus on this issue.
I love the choice of music so far. It's all been really good music from Persona 5, so I appreciate that.
Yes. Well, and Xander Mobus, for anyone who doesn't know, is the voice of Joker. Which is heartbreaking that his take, and a lot of his takes, are so terrible. But then, he's a voice actor. And if you've ever read any of their Twitter feeds, a lot of them are, let's just say, never meet your heroes. All right?
Loonies.
Sadly. Anyway.
Translating a work isn't simply choosing between 100% literal Google translation and fanfiction that is entirely divorced from the original text. At the end of the day, complete faithfulness is unobtainable, but a translator's job should not be taking someone else's product and making it their own. They should, well, be translating it for others. I know some might say, but you just said 4 Kids was endearing, which, yeah, that's missing the point though. They are still a joke if you view them as an actual translation. The entire process there is more comparable to an abridged series than an actual localization. But these modern companies aren't marketing themselves like 4 Kids. This is sold to you as an actual adaptation, yet has all of these creative choices, and I think that makes it worse. These end up being the equivalent of the old "this is mine" memes. They just take someone else's work and try to make it theirs. There will always be decisions that need to be made for the product.
Make it
And who the
theirs.
localizer is will influence and inform
basically,
said
I know.
they take
decision.
it and then
Those are
they
choices made
leak
in
it.
service of the media.
Yeah, I know what he
to get
meant.
the best balance between fluidity and accuracy, not to serve oneself.
It's what I find so strange
that felt like the end.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like that felt like a conclusion. We're a third of the way through.
Well, it's maybe a chapter. We'll see
Yes.
if he gets anything else.
Do you-
But I agree completely.
Yeah, no, we can finish right here. I'm happy with the video so far. Pretty good job.
Yeah.
Good
I mean,
examples.
yeah, I guess we can break for the day and do part 2.
Yeah, if you guys want, I'm cool with
I
that.
do want to cover this whole thing.
Just my last words on the topic here would just be, well, after what I told of German dubs from back in the day before I was born, apparently we had figured this out in the 70s and 80s, how to do this right, and now all of this knowledge is lost.
Socialism.
I didn't say it this time.
Hey.
Yeah, you talked about it, Wisp. It doesn't matter. You got your 5 minutes in there. Anyway.
By the way, Wisp, good avatar.
Yeah, Wisp loves his new avatar.
Yeah, someone made it. I have no idea who, but it's amazing.
Yeah. What are you eating, by the way?
It's the thing you don't you remember the meme
from
from last time?
yesterday.
It's not Rubik's Kid.
Oh, it's a Rubik's Cube. Oh, yeah. I thought it was a crispy, a Vachon pastry.
What?
Wait, why am I seeing a different avatar from the rest of you?
What are you talking about?
I needed to because my Discord app.
For me, in the Discord call, your avatar is the same as your old one. It's not the new one that I now see on the screen on the cast.
Really?
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah, the Discord was being teasing.
Huh.
Okay.
Anyway, we don't really need to dwell on that. I don't know if the plan is, I guess, are there memes now? Is that the next thing?
Yeah, let's go over some memes. Why not? I'm sure we got some. It is Anime Day, so it should be plenty of memes.
Well, I know we have at least one.
Oh.
I'm sure there are more.
No, we have
I just
we
know
have
that
a
we have
ton.
at least one.
Oh, boy. Okay,
Oh, that's
Joe
cool.
Crazy, what do you have for us? Honk honk. I feel like I'm going insane. There's a big truck honking right beside my apartment. My wife already went to stay over at her boss's house God bless that man taking people in, and I'm stuck here listening to this shit. Wow.
I would probably go over to my wife's boss's house with my wife if I were you, buddy.
What a crazy...
Is that a female avatar?
I have no idea.
Yes,
maybe.
It is. It is a female Jack.
I would do it anyway.
This isn't. I still want to refuse to believe that that messages like these are real. But
yeah, I don't think it's real. That's stupid.
It's so common. It's so common.
No. It is real. It's Reddit. It's full of them.
Yeah, I saw this meme
My
before.
wife already went to stay over at her boss's house.
I saw this one. This is kind of goofy, but whatever. We don't know.
That's how just Trudeau. It's on the ground.
all we know is that he told us he has COVID. That's all we know.
I've seen the original of this with Saddam Hussein, and I still don't get it.
It's allegedly the hole where he was hiding. It's already in the sloppy seconds.
All right, what's this? Flag of the day. Please leave me alone. It's a goose?
It's a goose. It's the honk.
So it's
I
basically...
think maybe, Joe, you should have censored out that license plate, but...
Well,
is that a Canadian license plate?
I can't quite tell. Yeah, it is.
Is that the format for Canadian license plates?
Well, wait a second. Actually, no, there's a lot of numbers there. It could be different depending on which province you get the plate.
That's the polite Canadian version of the snake flag.
That's what I was thinking. Yeah,
that's the idea. It's the Gadsden flag, but a goose.
Okay, the time has come for a Marxist cultural revolution. This unbearable state will instill class consciousness into the proletariat, who will then rise up and overthrow the ruling class. I shall overthrow capitalism by creating artificial conflicts via exacerbating contradictions, thus progressing the dialectic towards communism. Holy Jesus.
That's the plan. That's really the plan.
That's retarded. Class consciousness is the idea to revolution. In the next panel we have, it has come to our attention that we deliver your food. Capitulate or die.
Okay, so that did make me laugh, but mucho texto there, buddy.
Yeah, too much text.
In this case, it's fine because the commies do talk like that.
I guess it is like if it's. I guess it's making
fine.
fun of it being a lefty meme. So
it's great. I love it.
Well, it's making fun of the lefty needing a lot of text because the other side doesn't need a lot of text.
It's just the end.
It's basically like above you have Brain having the big plan to take over the world, and then. Well, Pinky does a little thing and everything falls apart.
Yeah. Everyone needs their truckers, guys. It doesn't matter what part of the world you're in. If you're in a metropolis, you need trucks.
Farmer.
Yeah, exactly. You need fishers, you need farmers, miners, people to get the raw materials for you. So you can
I just noticed the Justin Trudeau has blackface.
Yeah.
In the hole.
Oh yeah.
That's his natural. That's his natural disguise.
Yeah. Cartoon fanboy. Let's play this video. See what's going on.
Look at all this stuff. Candy bars?
Dibs on the candy bars.
Potato chips?
Dibs on the chips.
Canned fruit? Soda?
Dibs on the soda.
Joey, I don't think we should cook the candy bars.
Back off. I know what I'm doing.
He's cooking candy bars?
Why would do that?
The joke here is that he doesn't call dibs on the canned fruit.
What is it supposed to? What is it in the original? Is my question here.
Yeah, why would you have? Because there's no actual talking mouths, so you don't need to actually do much. You just have the actual literal.
Well, I mean, they're going to change the food because that's what 4Kids did. I'm just wondering what food that actually is because it's kind of hard to tell.
Yeah,
it's probably all sushi.
So this one I personally hate just because how do you smoke? Like you're going to be sucking on the end of a lollipop, not the actual lollipop.
Yeah. You put the yeah.
You just magically hide those frames.
Oh god.
You notice the lollipop is kind of bad.
Or you do the JoJo thing where you just awkwardly censor. You put a black circle over
Your mouth
over Sanji's mouth whenever he's smoking.
What's he doing? I don't know. I can't figure it out.
As you can see, the lollipop is so big that it encapsulates over thingies. English. All the smoke that is on top of the cloud, so that is properly hidden. The rest is brushed out, and the color saturation looks completely different here.
Yeah,
that's
maybe
weird.
Because they had to. Oh, we need to color over the smoke up there. So let's change the whole sky.
Either that, or they just had like a really cheap copy.
The next one, we went from a gun to a shower head.
I don't even know what that is.
It's like a hammer that, like, if he pulls the trigger, it'll just whack him on the head.
It's not the same as a bullet.
Yeah, it's not quite as intimidating as being shot by a gun.
Also,
it looks
easily
horrible to draw and animate.
So which one's the fake one? The one on the right?
No,
the one on the left.
The silly one.
Okay.
The one that's not a gun.
Yeah, but what is it? I can't even describe it.
It's a thing that'll whack him on the head with a hammer.
Just get a hammer.
Honestly, he can escape this really easy. You just need to.
Do you want me to explain the logic that was in the head of the 4Kids redrawers from like 1996? I don't know.
This is cartoon nonsense, and it looks.
Or just turn it into a hammer.
And it's the way it's drawn. It stands out.
Like, I don't know what it is. Like, is it?
It's just a thing that'll hit him on the head with a hammer. That's all it is.
Is it magnetism? Is it wires?
No, it's a spring.
Really?
You can see the spring.
The problem is it's already too far on the left to look like it would hit him properly.
It's so complicated. It's like, what is this contraption? What are you trying to do there, buddy?
Let's go.
Well, they did try to fit the wackiness of One Piece at least.
Yeah, I'm gonna intimidate you with this random object no one's ever seen. It's like, what does it do? All right.
It's whack you on the head.
Big breasts are filled with dreams. Oh.
Her breasts are average, so I guess she has average dreams.
Well, you know what?
They're anime average, which means
I am okay with
she's
average.
She's probably like a D cup.
Probably.
A Japanese D cup.
There are so many manga where there's a little girl and she looks just like a little girl, and then she's been taping her boobs the entire time. She's gigantic. It's like, what? Why?
Naruto?
Naruto is a good example, but I'm talking like in manga. Manga's crazy. So
I was gonna try to make an oblique reference to Trails of Cold Steel to piss off that one dude, but I can't think of anyone that applies to. Anyway.
So here we have an anime chick.
That's nice, Brett.
We have a pink-haired chick, and then we have this this lady who's like, tea.
Professional work right there.
I recognize that character and the artist's work who drew it.
Nice.
Not the Victorian.
Yeah. I'm not sure what that is, but wow.
The picture of Lynn from drawn by Ormel.
Is she like 4'6" or something? I can't tell. Anyway. Reject modernity, embrace tradition.
Beautiful.
Look at the little guy.
Beautiful.
This is wonderful. Because breast milk is better than formula.
Mm-hmm. Well, or fresh from the teat than having been warmed up after being in the fridge for a day.
Oh my God, look at that.
The question is, what is this an ad for?
So here's the next one. I would like to give this trophy to the best father ever. And then, sit back down, Dad. I was referring to Mr. Piccolo. Not Vegeta, yeah.
I enjoy that one. I should.
This is a Crystal Beef Arnold Mammoth, the greatest monster in the Yu-Gi-Oh series. It's literally the name of the YouTube channel is Crystal Beef Arnold Mammoth.
That's very thematic.
GX decided to make that mammoth sound like Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Yeah, dare I press play? Let's find out. Oh no.
That is the greatest voice to ever give him. That's fine.
I would love to pummel that little toothpick of a man. Hasta la vista, baby. I'll be back. Huh. Looks like a costume party. Jess,
I can't believe
you
that
want
was
some
real.
pancakes?
Great
Save me,
stuff.
Jesse.
Wow. Holy hell. Jesus. Do you want some pancakes? Okay.
Did they do that in the dub or is that the fan thing?
No, that's
No,
real.
apparently
Yeah,
that's the
it is
real dub.
the real dub.
Amazing. Amazing.
An Arnold
I will be back.
elephant. Wow. I tried searching for non-binary hoes, but all I found was this: a Minecraft how-to.
Minecraft how-to.
Well, he's not wrong. It's
Never make a diamond hoe. Only do stone. Don't waste your precious resources.
Okay, here's a 6.5 megabyte clip. I'm scared to press play. Let me just see what it is.
2 minutes.
Oh, I can't forget
It's
about it.
a 2-minute
Frozen.
long
You know, it's Let It Go.
overdubbing
No.
of Let It Go.
Yeah, I'll watch it later. It's okay.
Yeah.
Oh no, your crew's dead. Did I do that? Oh.
Yeah.
At least he's not,
Oh.
at least he's not talking about cheese.
Oh yes, I forgot these guys also the same voice actor.
Okay.
Wait, like,
Wow.
who was that?
Well,
That's dudes from Ed and
That's
Eddie.
from.
No, I
Ed
know
and
that.
Ed.
I
You
mean,
watched Ed and Eddie?
who's the voice actor?
yeah, I don't know. I mean, it's pretty good casting if that's the same, character. So it's pretty good.
Like, that's not Sean Shamel, is it? Is it? I don't know, honestly.
So yeah, we talked about Big Brother for too long. Or Big Brother. Yeah.
Yamero.
Yamero.
The guy 316, Little Brother. Let's see. This is yours. How long is it?
Yes, it's a minute.
Okay, let's try it out. All right.
Oh god, this is horrible.
Here comes little brother.
Oh boy.
Oh no.
Make it on his own. And scrape right along while I'm singing the song. You know,
What the heck is this talking?
here comes little brother. He's got one leg up on life. Just one. That's right. He's the king of the
Why?
trade. With minus 3 legs, and I'll probably never take him as a wife. Here comes little brother. He's got a pocket full of cash. He can barely stand up. Your favorite one-legged pup.
Oh, this gives me joint pain.
100-yard dash. Little brother, maybe tenderfoot too. I can make it on my
No, thank
own.
you.
It's the little brother and maybe.
Wow.
Look at those Indian kids show there is on YouTube.
That was special. Okay, we're gonna forget that
Little
ever happened.
Brother is the new mascot of the Smudcast.
Homestar Runner represents the golden age of the internet, and I will not take any feedback on that opinion.
It truly was a different time.
All right, let's keep going.
If you don't agree,
Was it
you're
the height
wrong.
of Newgrounds?
No, it's its own thing.
No, Homestar Runner was its own website.
Okay.
All right, Cyberfrog.
It was Matt and Mike Chapman who went on to work on I believe they went on to work on Gravity Falls and some other stuff. They're still working, both of them, just
I can see that there.
in more mainstream projects.
Here's Cyberfrog. Thank you. Americans can have made faithful translations of animes. Today's translators are just lazy. And here we have the Collector.
agree.
You are already dead. Iconic scene from the Fist of the North Star. Okay. I'm not going to play that, but yeah.
Well, it's queued up to minute 9 to when he actually says it, so.
Oh.
But yeah, I completely agree.
Nice and slow.
Oh my god, the
You
one
hear
after
me?
this.
Cause when I fight,
It's always to the death.
That's right. In fact, you're already dead.
Is that so?
Was this some fan thing, or is this did they
No,
do
this is
for
real. That's a real translation.
You're kidding me.
I've heard many translations from because the Norse.
You can't see that. You don't have the pass.
Anyway. Next one. Aura Master. Speaking of translations, here's a funny one where they replace the word nakama with niggas. Oh my god.
Oh, that's the one I meant with. Is that for real?
And
nakama is our family, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why?
Like, because it means like it means
wonderful.
Close friends.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
That's honestly, that's not an inappropriate choice, except that you don't usually
goofy.
I mean, it does make it goofy, but
yeah. All right. Next up is Joe Crazy. Thanks.
He's not wearing enough Gucci for that.
The guy who made the subtitles. Carefully, he's a hero.
Oh yes.
Ah, look at that.
that is care.
Yeah.
That is care.
That's what happens when you actually give a crap about what you're doing.
You look at the work you did. You're like, wait a second, that doesn't fit in the frame. We got to change the subtitles to fit. There you go.
Yeah, we're destroying the meaning of the scene.
Very large meaning, yes. All right.
Also, having beautiful art.
Whisperhead, you fucking moron. Yeah, that happened a few times.
She transforms itself in a eldritch ogre.
You didn't see that? That's totally not me.
So this is Kyle, the vampire god. Thanks for your 5.5 megabyte video. Here we go.
Alright, yo, so some of these anime characters gotta be bullshitting about their damn age. Like, yo, look at Jotaro, dog. You telling me this big body ass motherfucker is 17 years old?
What?
17? Yo, this motherfucker look like he at least 30. Like, do you hear the bass in his voice? Like, what the fuck were y'all feeding this kid? But no, look at this man Ichigo, though. You telling me this is a 15-year-old ass kid? This is supposed to be a 15-year-old? What the fuck was I when I was 15, damn it? 12? Like, bro, what the fuck are y'all feeding these
You were
kids?
hot potato.
This shit make no damn sense. Look at Gohan, 11. If I saw an 11-year-old walking around like this, I'll be scared shitless. But now, sometimes this shit can pull a whole reverse card on your ass. Like, look at her. How old you think she is? What, 10, 9, 12? This bitch is 42. 42? Oh, hell no, bro. And she got whole ass kids, too? Hey, yo, who the fuck hit this? Motherfucker dodged the whole ass case.
Okay. Yes. Ages in anime and manga are all over the place. This is true.
Unfortunately, Nick, your link doesn't work.
Yeah. It would have popped up in...
Yes, it went to, this video isn't available anymore.
Yeah. Okay, next one is Karabe. Thank you. How character named Smoker was edited and renamed into Chaser in 4Kids?
Chase
He still have.
Smoke coming out of his nose.
He's really happy to find that child.
Also, the cigars on his arm are also gone.
Oh, yeah.
What?
Oh, yeah.
The smoking is
They're
bad.
not
Because they couldn't turn it into bullets.
Not allowed to have smoking in American cartoons anymore.
What a...
He's turning into hot dogs.
Why do this? It's freaking One Piece.
Because 4Kids said, smoking's bad.
All right. Also the same voice actor in 2006, Fate anime. Really? Donatello is...
Wait, who is... I don't think I recognize the anime face.
Really?
That's Shiro Miya from Fate Stay Night.
Oh, sorry, my bad.
I'm just trying to figure out who he was. Who the actor was.
Yeah, I have no idea. I never listened to
the
English.
06 anime.
I've never heard any of the dubs for Fate. Why would I? Why would I hurt myself?
I don't know.
All right, we're done.
I see a lot of Japanese names.
Berserk Outtakes remastered.
Oh, Sam Riegel. Okay.
They're funny.
How long are they?
It's a long video. It's 39 minutes.
Oh my
Holy
God.
cow.
Anyway.
We can watch this later.
We'll probably try that later. Anywho, that was fun. Nice video.
Yep.
Still going strong tomorrow or whenever. Okay, guys. Well, thanks so much. Go take a break, go to bed, whatever you do, wherever you part of the world you're in. Thank you so much for popping in. I know other people wanted to come in, but we had a full house, so I didn't want to play musical chairs and this and that. So thank you for popping in. We'll see you soon, and we're going to continue tomorrow, if not the day after. So
yeah,
have a great evening. Bye-bye.
Try it with